Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the standout features of this week that we can all relate to collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, it's great to have you with me. If you'd care to like or subscribe or comment, you're very welcome. This is very much a community and it's wonderful to have you with me. Now this week does see one of the standout aspects in astrology, the Sun in an alliance with Jupiter. Jupiter in the sign of Aries is very much about new beginnings and freshness. In the sign of Aquarius, the Sun, Venus and Saturn is very much about the collective. It's how we interact and network, it's our friendships, but also our longer term planning. Because last Saturday there was a new moon in Aquarius, which is also feeling the energy of Pluto, the planet of great change, it may feel as if this is a really historic time for many of us. So what does it mean, that aspect between the Sun and Jupiter? I think it can be when we supercharge our longer term plans in a way which feels right for us now. We very often will have hopes, but when we get to that point where we achieve what we set out to do, we realise that we've actually shifted. And I think there can be a little bit of that this week. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is still forging a jarring angle to Mars. Mercury wants us to slow things down and examine possibilities in a very thorough and step-by-step way. It's in the earthy sign of Capricorn. Mars in Gemini wants things to go quick, very quick. But later this week, Mercury actually forges a brilliant link with Uranus, which will help us to embrace things that can speed up. Also, from Monday to Wednesday, Venus and Saturn are still within 3 degrees of one another, and they're asking us to think very carefully about the quality of our alliances. Now, Saturn can either be a cold and limiting influence or a very stabilising one. So we may find ourselves asking some key questions about close relationships, particularly as Venus moves into the sign of reflection of Pisces on Friday. Now there is a quarter moon as this week draws to a close. As much as the sign of Aquarius is very idealistic, the sign of Taurus is very realistic. And there may be something that we just need to make sure it stays in kilter between those two areas. As much as we'd like life to be a certain way, it is as it is. But then at the same time, that doesn't mean to say we can't apply our values and standards to that reality. And that's really what I feel is coming to the fore as this week draws to a close. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, plus in my special package, your life roadmap analysis. This will help you to understand your astrological influences at a much more intimate level. Seize upon the ones that give you possibilities, but also work out some that have snagged you over time. There's 30% off. Please see the link below. And in my special package, you also get your free Zodiac, Vedic and Chinese forecasts for 2023. So Leo, your week commencing the 23rd of January forecast puts a big emphasis on relationships. This started to shape up late last week and it really takes hold now. The new moon in your sector of relationships that occurred last week was obviously very close to Pluto. So maybe professional relationships are to the fore, work ties at this present time. But with Saturn applying to Venus in the first half of this week still, perhaps also you're going to find out who's really for you and who's perhaps a bit more lukewarm. So that could be a bit challenging, but the Sun is forging a very upbeat and uplifting, happy-go-lucky angle to Jupiter, the planet of fortune. So there may be another person or set of people that you really feel that you can relate to in a very relaxed and easygoing way, which can see your situation start to open up and prosper. Now, Mars in house 11 of your future plans is still in a tense angle to Mercury in the first part of this week. I think this is just saying to you that where you may want to focus on the big picture, Mercury is asking you to still grapple with the details. Also, Mercury forges a very positive link to Uranus later in the week, which suggests that if you do stick to the details but try some different approaches, they may turn out to be really successful. Venus moving on Friday into house 8 could bring some kind of financial benefit your way in the following 28 days, or could see a relationship go from quite cordial to much closer and more intimate. However, the quarter moon, which occurs at the end of this week, suggests that in a professional context, balancing how you want to have ease of communication with people, but also how you want to be respected, is going to be a little bit of a dilemma in the week that goes into week commencing the 30th. But I'll tell you more about that next time.